Pacific Standard Time. Welcome, everybody. This is Steampunk Star Raisin live show, first episode. Might be a little bit awkward because I've never done this before. This is not an atheist show. People have asked me offline. I do like talking about topics of atheism because I am an atheist and I feel like they don't get enough exposure or coverage. But I do have a bullet list of everything that's going to be on the show for the next hour. The first topic will be the top 5 atheist YouTubers. These are my personal favorites. Some people have already approached me and told me that they have other favorites. That would be James Randi, Jaclynglen, Julia Galef, Amazing Atheist, and Healthyaddict. And then after that, the topic will be upcoming 70th anniversary of the end of World War II, September the 2nd, 1945. I'll be talking about some stories that my grandfather told me. He was a World War II veteran. Fantastic Four movie review. I saw it yesterday. I had a feeling it was overhyped bad, and I was right. And Wondering Why the God Machine, meanings of the movie. Several people have asked me, what does that movie mean? It's a movie I directed 10 years ago. And is there audio in this? Meanings of the movie. It's a short film on YouTube that I directed 9 years ago. And then the next topic would be top 5 favorite movies of all time. I have my top 5. I'll discuss that. And the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time, but real gross, the real top 10. And this is adjusted for inflation based on raw ticket sales, not actual numbers, not the actual dollar numbers, because that's kind of deceptive because it doesn't show how many tickets were actually sold for a film or how popular it was. And the last topic will be awkward question of the day. But I don't know where everybody is. There's only a couple people here. But no, this is not an atheist show. I don't mind if you're a Christian. I've said this in some of my videos. It's like, I don't mind. I was raised Mormon, but I later became atheist. Never really fully assimilated into the religion. But I don't mind people who are Christian. I believe in freedom of religion. I also believe in separation of church and state. But I just think that atheism as activism doesn't always get enough coverage. But yeah, James Randi, who I interviewed in 2012, I'll start off with that. He is a very nice guy in person. I met him at DragonCon 2012. And there's a new documentary film on Netflix starring James Randi. I highly recommend it. But I think it's called A Truthful Liar or something like that, because he's a magician, and magicians are an honest liar. Because James Randi was a magician, and so he makes a living lying to people and tricking people, and so he also has James Randi Found channel. It's not as big as some of the other YouTube channels, but he's got his own significant niche following, and I'm a big fan of him. Particularly, I'm biased because I've met him. And Jaclynglen, very beautiful atheist YouTuber. She went to medical school, decided to drop out of medical school to become a YouTuber full time. She's got a few 100,000 subscribers, and she's considered the YouTube queen of atheism. I love Jaclynglen. I would love to meet her one day. And another amazing atheist beauty that I would love to meet one day is Julia Galef. I think I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. She only has about 3,000 subscribers on her YouTube, but nevertheless, man, I've got a big crush on her. Never have I seen such intelligence and beauty in one place. I mean, she's beautiful, she's intelligent. She is part of the Atheist Skeptic track of New York City. She also has been a guest on the Amazing Meeting, which is an atheist convention in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I love Julian Galef. Julian Galef, I think that's how you pronounce it. And of course, the Amazing Atheist. A lot of people hate him. They think he's a doctor. He has 500,000 subscribers. I wish I had that many. But I love his humor. I don't always agree with Amazing Atheist. Sometimes I disagree with him on things, but I agree with him about 90% of the time. And he's very funny. He does the Drunken Peasants podcast as well. And last but not least, this is another prominent YouTube atheist that I've actually met in person. I met her at DragonCon. DragonCon has the skeptic tracks, so a lot of atheists are drawn to DragonCon, and we meet up there and we go to all the skeptic tracks. I went to a skeptic track about DNA, about molecular engineering with bio DNA, and I met Healthyaddict, Ashley Paramore, at DragonCon. She was very nice. She does a YouTube channel. She's only got about 20,000 subscribers. But she's got her own niche following. She makes a little bit of money off her YouTube channel. And she does a live broadcast, which I've interacted with and talked to her on the live broadcast before. She's not as interesting as she used to be because she's kind of gotten settled and happy in her life. So she's defaulted just to doing a live show every week, and that's all the content she puts on her YouTube channel. But her earlier videos where she was doing pranks with the flying spaghetti monster, she was dressed up as a pirate, you know, promoting Pastafarianism. That was hilarious. I love the Pastafarian religion. I consider myself a Pastafarian. That's a joke religion created by one of the engineers who created Second Life. Anyway, moving on beyond atheism topics, I know that they're kind of controversial or not intending to alienate anybody. This is technically my show, so I just like to talk about things I like to talk about. But I mean, but you guys are free to respond, and this is going to be kind of awkward because this is the first episode, and I've never done a live show before. The closest thing is I've done YouNow. I used to do YouNow back in the day, but I don't like the way they reconfigured YouNow, so I don't ever get on there anymore. They went from having dedicated channels on YouNow.com to having just hashtags, and I like the dedicated channel thing they used to have. You used to vote people thumbs up or thumbs down. So I would go to like the 25 plus, and I would get on there and I would do my thing like I'm doing right now, and I would have an audience about 20, 25 people that were in the 25 plus, and you could guarantee that it was mature topics and adult discussion. And you know, sometimes if somebody sucked or they were really boring, you could vote them thumbs down and could get kicked off. Well, they did away with all of that. They did away with the rating system, and you just basically create a hashtag and you immediately go broadcasting live. Well, the problem with that is if there were no dedicated channels, the hashtags, like last time I broadcasted on YouNow, I had like one person watching me, and it was really boring. There wasn't a dedicated following to a niche subject, and so I'm a little bit disappointed by that. But a lot of YouTubers go on YouNow, and that's how I actually found out about YouNow was through VidCon. Second field of topic I wanted to talk about is the upcoming 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. September the 2nd, 1945, will be the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. The Japanese signed the surrender. I think it was aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay. I think it was in Tokyo Bay, ending formally the World War II. Technically, World War II fighting had stopped by August the 15th. The Japanese army had agreed to surrender on August the 15th, but the formal surrender signing didn't actually sign until September the 2nd. And of course, there was a lot of Japanese soldiers on isolated islands who held out even after the end of World War II. There were some that didn't even surrender until the 1970s, which is kind of crazy to think about it. Somebody should do a movie about that. That'd be an interesting survival topic. I'm a soldier fighting a war for 30 years. I don't even know it's over. But do you guys have any questions? I'm sorry if it seemed like this was just an atheist show. It's not really an atheist show. It's just one of the topics I like to talk about. You guys there?
Yep.
Yeah, we're there.
Okay, I'm going to get to the topic that I think you guys will have common ground. Fantastic Four movie review. I saw it yesterday, and you know how movies are overhyped good? This movie, I just had a feeling because I just kept hearing negative after negative thing. I'm not going to say it's a great movie, but it was overhyped bad. Overhyped bad.
Was it better than you expected, or?
It was better than I expected because I went in with low expectations. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it about a 6. I'd say it was almost as good as Avengers.
So
yeah, it was
way better.
entertaining.
it's way better than Batman and Robin? Because people are saying it's the worst.
It's better than Batman and Robin.
Wow.
I'll tell you why if you want me to break it down.
Yeah.
The personality of Doctor Doom matches the comic book very well. I don't like the way they portray Doctor Doom, where he's got superpowers. Doctor Doom, to me, they've never quite got Doctor Doom right. So the movie's flaws, don't get me wrong. You know, they did the same thing in horror movies. He gets affected by the same radiation that the other members of the Fantastic Four are affected by, and he gets superpowers. And in this version of Doctor Doom, his environmental suit becomes fused to his body, looking like armor. And I just wish they would have just stuck to the comic. Let's do an evil Iron Man, because that's essentially what I view Doctor Doom as. He's like an evil Iron Man. He uses technology, he's a genius, and he has a super suit. He doesn't have superpowers. And
well, he does have magical powers. Like he does have.
He has magical powers, but that, you can almost argue that that's not superpowers. That's skilled ability for.
He did defeat the Sorcerer Supreme, totally, which was amazing.
Okay, I didn't know that, but he does have a super suit that's similar to Iron Man's, and except his suit can't fly though. But he does have he can fire burst of energy out of his.
And I think he did kill Doctor Strange a couple weeks ago. So
I mean the voice of Doctor Doom, the actor, I can't remember. He was not a hacker. He was actually a scientist. The Doctor Doom in this Fantastic Four movie, I don't know who said that. He was never.
He was in school with Reed Richards.
He was in school with Reed Richards, but he was older. He was older.
Right, they were in college, I guess, and him and the Thing, Ben Grimm. And what happened was there was an experiment that Victor Von Doom was working on, and he was also the monarch of Latveria. Okay, but he was, I guess, an away student, like in the far away, in the States, going to school here, and he miscalculated with the machine, and Reed Richards kept telling him you miscalculated, and even though they were friends, they were rivals, I believe. I do have to talk to Old Doc about this because he was more he collected it when it first came out, but from what I understand, that the experiment blew up in his face and scarred his face, and he ran away to his homeland of Latveria, where I guess the Tibetan monks or whatever had fused the mask to his face or something, and then he found out his mother had died and his father or whatever, like she was in hell or something, and he just went crazy, I guess, and became Doctor Doom.
Well, he also blamed Reed Richards for the disfigurement of his face.
Right,
There wasn't any of that element. Okay, that was one criticism I had of the Doctor Doom character in this version of Fantastic Four. There was very poor character development. Right. He goes to this planet on another dimension because they develop a teleport through. It's like a different universe, not just a different planet, but a different universe. Alter here, and so sorry, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I don't think any of you guys.
So what, do they leave him there?
Well, he gets accidentally left there. They think he's dead. They think there was an explosion, and they think he's dead, but he's not dead. The energy, there's like some weird kind of cosmic green energy on the planet. So it has sci-fi elements that I like in it. It was actually pretty entertaining as a sci-fi movie. Right. I mean, it was flawed as a superhero movie, and they never quite could get Doctor Doom right. So they need somebody like me to write it. I've written screenplays before. I doubt anybody of any significance is actually going to see this, but if anybody does, hire me as a screenwriter. I'm a fan. I actually read the comics. I would do a really badass Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, it's like the ultimate villain. I like the voice of Doctor Doom in this movie, and I liked how evil he is, and how he just doesn't give a damn about anybody. Right. And that's Doctor Doom to me, where in the two previous Fantastic Four movies, Doctor Doom just had like a squeaky sounding voice. He just did not sound...
His voice was totally wrong.
His voice was totally wrong. In this movie, they got the voice right, but he still looks funny. He still looks odd.
Oh, they still got the voice right?
When the 2005 Doctor Doom actually looks like Doctor Doom.
He looked like Doctor Doom, but I didn't like the fact that he had superpowers. He's supposed to have he's supposed to be a disfigured evil genius that develops like a bodysuit, an armor or super suit.
Well, I see Dr. Doom look, a kid's show, a cartoon got him right. Iron Man Armored Adventure Season 2, where they had Iron Man and War Machine go up against Dr. Doom. They handled him right. They explained how he could do what he did. Quantum manipulation, that's how he was able to do what he did.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. See, I wish they would have incorporated that into the movie. So yeah, the movie was disappointing to a certain extent, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I mean, I would probably not buy it on DVD. I'd probably not go watch it again, but it was entertaining. It was worth watching once. I like go ahead.
The one thing that's unforgivable is the "It's Clobbering Time" comes from his abusive older brother. Seriously, fire whoever wrote that.
Yeah, that is in there, but they never betrayed Dr. Doom or Victor, as they call him in the beginning of the movie. They never betrayed him as a hacker. They just portrayed him as he's in college with Reed Richards. He's a little bit older than Reed Richards. He's a scientist working on a teleporting project. But he has a pessimistic view of humanity, which didn't make sense to me. Okay, I don't trust the military and humanity, and now I'm just going to be evil and kill everybody for the sake of it. There was a little bit of poor character development going on with Dr. Doom. He just becomes evil too quickly, in my opinion. Granted, he had been stranded on that planet for a year, so he might have gone a little bit crazy, but it just, I don't know. There wasn't enough explanation. There wasn't enough character development of Dr. Doom, but I do like the way he sounded, and I like the way that when they were fighting the Fantastic Four, he was just like a complete care. So they didn't quite get the look right. They didn't quite get his abilities right. But I liked the way he sounded. The Human Torch, the first time I've seen the Human Torch in any Fantastic Four movie portrayed right. The problem I had with the last two Fantastic Four movies, he's just like a normal guy that's not really flaming, who shoots just flame balls. In this version of Fantastic Four, he looks like the comic book Human Torch. He's all glowing, and his face is glowing. His eyes are glowing. He looks like the comic book Human Torch. Invisible Woman looks like the comic book Invisible Woman. She's floating around through the air. She's floating through the air with a force field bubble and phasing in and out of the visual spectrum. And that reminded me of the comic books. So they did a very good job of portraying Invisible Woman, a very good job of portraying the Human Torch. The Thing, I know he wasn't wearing pants, but he was very rocky. That still seemed very true to the comic. This is a teenage version. I think this is based on maybe the Marvel Ultimates version of Fantastic Four, because I think the Marvel Ultimates version of Fantastic Four
Yes, the Ultimate. I think it is the Ultimate, which I'm against too, because they did that with Amazing, and that didn't turn out that well either of Spider-Man. So I'm not a fan of the Ultimate Universe.
I like the Ultimate X-Men. I've read some of the comics, and the Ultimate Spider-Man was pretty good. It was interesting to see what it was like to have the death of Spider-Man, which was only done in that movie.
Right.
But and we can always veer off topic. I mean, this is just a guide.
I'm actually trying to screen share something, but it's not. Let me see if it works. I'm actually gonna try to.
I see something.
Do you see this?
Yeah, I see Dr. Doom. Is that the 1993?
Yes, you could watch it now on Daily Motion. So.
Okay, if it doesn't get taken down.
No, it's not going to be. I believe they have a deal with Daily Motion. And again, this is, I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to do if you could watch this and then do a follow-up cast on. What your thoughts of the original one that they didn't want to release? Fantastic.
Yeah, I've always been curious to see it. I just never could find a legit copy. I mean, there isn't a legit copy. I never could.
But now Daily Motion is a legit copy because they have a deal with it. So
cool.
It's going to be super clear and super high definition and whatever. And maybe
it'll be cool. I heard it was bad. I heard like the Thing has a zipper, and you can see the.
Instead of the Mole Man, they called him the Jeweler. Which was that was just terrible, and he was like another version of Danny DeVito's Penguin. That
So
this was around the time, yeah.
Okay, so they have the jeweler and Doctor Doom as the villains. Interesting.
Yes. Two villains, yes. So.
I mean, I'm not going to say it was a great movie. I mean, you know, you probably wouldn't like it anyway, but I mean, you know, it was entertaining.
I go see everything, but with this case, it hits too close to home, where I'm taking a stand. I don't know if that stand is going to stay that way, because curiosity killed the cat, and I'm kind of curious how bad this movie is. So I may want to see it just to see how bad it is.
It's slightly better than mediocre.
Really?
It's not like a great film.
I've seen multiple reviews from sources that I can trust, that literally I watch independent movie reviewers who aren't like paid out to say good things about a movie or whatever.
Right.
And literally, like, hold on, I'm gonna put my camera on just so you can see what he said. Basically, he was like this. He went, "You could watch me doing this for an hour and a half.
Wow.
And it would still be more entertaining than that."
Wow.
Well, no. I mean, the interdimensional planetary travel. I mean, like I said, as a sci-fi movie, it works better than a superhero movie.
Well, that's happens, though. You have to admit, and for
nothing except for Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom goes crazy and tries to destroy the Earth.
But hold on, taking that part out, you have your obligatory. You have your. Here's the common thing I hear. First act is good. The first act is good because it follows the ultimate origin. Second act, you feel like you missed a season of a Netflix show or a part of a show that happens. Like, wait, what? What just happened? The third one is like, oh crap, we forgot this is a superhero movie. We got to rush in a supervillain for them to fight. It's a rushed ending, pretty anticlimactic final fight with Doctor Doom. But for the most part, what do?
Well, they fight on the planet because Doctor Doom tries to destroy Earth because they talk about that they alter the equation on the. So basically, they create a wormhole to another dimension. But if they alter the equation a little bit more, they can turn that wormhole into a singularity or a black hole and destroy Earth. And Doctor Doom is like, well, humanity had its chance, and humanity is destroying itself anyway, so I'll just accelerate that. And so they go to the planet in the other dimension, which Doctor Doom now calls his home, to try to stop him. And the first fight, Doctor Doom kicks all their ass, and I like that one scene where I think it was the Thing says he's stronger than all of us, or not this Thing. It was
Reed Richards,
the Human Torch. Well, yeah, and Reed Richards says, yes, that's true. He goes, but together we're stronger than him, and I like that. That reminded me of the comic book. Really did.
This
reminded me of the comic book.
I don't know if you could screen share or you can actually zoom in, but this is the Marvel Legends Icon series of Doctor Doom that I have. I don't know if you can see the
cool. It's badass.
Yeah, he is badass, right? I mean, it's
Here's my thing. I don't like superhero movies that try to take something like Fantastic Four, take something like Superman. It's inherently lighthearted and try to make us take it super, super seriously. I mean, dude, you have a guy that has stretch powers. There is no way I can take that seriously in any shape or form. That's the thing. The thing that you need to do is you need to make us suspend our, to acknowledge our suspension of disbelief just a bit more and have fun with it. I mean, dude, you have these off-the-wall powers that your group has. Do something with them. You can do something cool. And, look, albeit the only people who got good things in the movie to do was probably the Human Torch. But the Thing, need we forget that the Thing, what about that shot in the trailer of him being dropped out of the stealth bomber? That never happened.
Right.
That never happened in the movie.
And he would get hurt. He wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was saying it's a perfect movie. I mean, like I said, I would probably not even bother to go watch it again. I mean, it was entertaining. It wasn't a great movie. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I know.
It was super great.
I just hate this movie with a passion. I'm pissed that it's getting
Okay.
a sequel, and I'm never, ever, ever supporting anything made by Josh Trank or having the Fantastic Four brand again, unless Marvel's got it back.
Right.
I had an interesting thought about the Fantastic Four. This okay. So, was it Fox Studios that owns the rights to Fantastic Four?
20th Century Fox owns the movie rights till
20th Century
2024.
Fox, but 20th Century Fox, aren't they associated with News Corp?
I don't know about. Well, Fox. I think that's different. I think that's a different company. I mean, Fox News. You're talking about?
Yeah, but you have a pyramid of parent.
I don't know if they're related. I don't think so.
Well, I think
Just
if I'm
'cause it
not,
says Fox,
I
I
may
don't-
be incorrect, but I may be incorrect. I'm just going to say that up front. But I think
Right.
they're owned by News Corp, and News Corp is owned by Viacom, and Viacom owns Disney, and Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars. That's all really the same company.
It's not. No.
Well, Viacom is the ultimate parent corporation. It's what corporations do. They like to give the illusion of that there's more competition than there really is. And I wonder sometimes if this Fox versus Marvel Studios is just overhyped, just to make it seem like there's competition, when it's really all the same company. The profits go up. Not to be a conspiracy theory, it's just an observation.
Right. Let's see. Let's see.
Because I know Viacom owns Disney.
20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox. I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth.
Well, that'll be a topic for another day. I don't want to get off on it.
Fox comments. Let me see. Wait, does News Corp Fox News? Okay, let's see.
News Corp. Yeah, News Corp is owned by Viacom.
Okay, so does News Corp Fox News own or control? 2008, Rupert Murdoch, News Corp, 33 billion revenues, which is more than Time Warner. Oh, so Viacom is different, I believe. They're not connected to Viacom, no.
Okay. What I
Fox Business Channel,
Viacom.
Fox Movie Channel, Fox News Channel, Fox College Sports, Fox Regional Sports Networks, 16 owned and operated, Fox Sports Espanol, let's see, wait a minute, Fox Television Studios, Fox Home Entertainment, Fox 20th Century Fox Television, 20th Century Television, Fox International, let's see. It doesn't say anything. No, it's
Well,
not.
I don't want to go off. I don't want to go off on a tangent. It's something that may or may not be true. But I'll do more research and maybe talk to them.
I'll actually, you know what I'll do? I'll send you this article,
Okay.
and then you could do a whole podcast on it if you want to.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. The next topic of the discussion. I'm surprised Mike D is not here because he had asked me what the meanings of a movie I directed 10 years ago. There was several people had asked me the meanings of A Wandering Mind, the God Machine. I'm slurring my words here. A Wandering Mind, the God Machine. It's a movie I directed in 2005. There is an IMDb listing. It is on YouTube as a low-resolution version. But I guess none of you have seen that, I take it.
Never heard of it.
No, I've seen some
Right,
of it.
it's not famous.
but
It's far from famous. I mean, I've directed films, but I've done low-budget stuff. Nothing famous. But yeah, it's basically a movie about a guy who works at. It was done on a shoestring budget, so some people get bored in the first 30 minutes, and the acting is a little bit wood and stiff because I used non-paid actors. But it's on my YouTube channel if you want to see it for free. It's only in 240p, but it was shot with a camera that only did 480p. So I do have a higher resolution version that I might re-release on DVD or release online. I just gotta recompress it and re-upload it, and I'm probably gonna do it like a 10-year anniversary edit. But yeah, it's about a guy working in a funeral home following.
What was the name of the movie again?
A Wandering Mind and the God Machine. There's an IMDb listing, and it's also on YouTube. But I wrote, directed, produced. I used all student actors from the University of West Florida because I couldn't afford to pay anybody. So I had a free casting crew that worked for me when I shot it, and I started off using camera equipment from University of West Florida, and then they got angry at me keeping the equipment too long, and then I bought my own. So the video quality varies because I use like 4 different video cameras to shoot it. Some of them were not the best quality, and so I did the best I could with what I had. And but it's got a guy who works at a funeral home following the death of his grandfather. He doesn't get along very well with his family, and a murdered prostitute is delivered to the funeral home. Local church is paying for her funeral. She has 4 tattoos on her left arm, a dragonfish's skull and a black circle. And when Tom, the main character, touches one of the tattoos, it alters his reality, and he goes into a different dimension. And there's a mysterious creature that he encounters towards the end of the movie. But if you haven't seen it, I don't know if I'd spoil it for you or not. I mean,
I wouldn't spoil it.
So. But all the criticisms, and I'll say they're legitimate criticisms, because I did it on almost no budget. Whenever I had money,
I sent it to David. David, if you want to screen share it.
Okay. I did it on almost no budget. Some people say that it's boring the first 30 minutes. So if you can suffer through the first 30 minutes, it picks up and gets a little bit more interesting. It's only an hour and 2 minutes long, and there's stuff that happens after the credits. So I was doing post-credit stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I am a director. I'm a producer. I've directed movies. I did my IMDb is not fully updated. I've done 6. I did Key Violet, but it didn't get released because the producer didn't like the production quality. And
Steampunk, if you could zoom in on David's thing, he could show off your subscribers in the Internet Movie Database. If you could just click onto him, it could blow it up and everybody could see it.
Okay.
Wait, where is it showing subscribers?
No, just show them that, the Internet Movie Database.
Show the people on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because we could see it, but nobody can see it. Like, there you go.
And I'm just 0 viewers, so I'm going to have to work really hard to build up my viewer base. But at least this will be archived on my YouTube channel, so if somebody wants to watch.
Great job, man.
An interesting show. It'll be on my YouTube channel. But yeah. So I mean, but just because anybody can really be a director. I'll be honest.
Right.
You can use your iPhone and shoot something, and then all you have to do is submit it to withoutabox.com, and then you immediately get an IMDb listing. That's what I did.
Wow.
But,
all right. So if I ever become a director, I'll ask you some tips before I do that.
Yeah. A big tip. I don't care. I mean, might as well. There's a website that I don't know why most people don't know about. It's called withoutabox.com, and their database merged with the Internet Movie Database. Internet Movie Database, which is owned by Amazon, brought out withoutabox.com and merged the database. So whenever you submit, it's a template website. If you're submitting to many film festivals, and it'll collect the money for you, and you put in who's the director, who's the producer, you put in all your credits, and that can be really annoying. In the past, before this website came out, it could be really annoying because every film festival, if you're submitting into several, you'd have to submit redundant information over and over again for the same thing. And this website saves you for doing that. It saves all your templates for your movies and allows you to quickly submit it to film festivals. You still get charged the same fee, but they get a percentage of the fee, and that's how the website makes money. They've been around for probably about 15 years, but they were originally a separate company from IMDb, but they're basically all the same company. It's under the parent corporation of Amazon, and when their database merged, that's how I got an IMDb listing. They used to have a separate database where, like 10 years ago, when I first listed the movie, it was not listed on IMDb. But then, I can't believe it was like 4 years ago, is when they got bought out by Amazon, and then that's when the databases merged, and that's when I got an IMDb listing for that. And is there audio? Oh, go ahead.
Are you going to talk about Star Trek or no?
I can. This is only a guide. I like to have a structured guide to go by.
I think Daniel had something about Star Trek, right, Daniel?
Yeah, go ahead, Daniel. We can talk about Star Trek. I didn't have it on the program guide, but it doesn't matter. I'm not set in stone. I'm flexible. Go ahead.
Okay. It says here there's like right now in Dubai they're having casting calls, you know, and there's like droves of fans coming to you know, they're casting for like background roles in Star Trek. So it's really cool, you know. There's like a lot of people, you know. It's awesome, you know. I wish I could share screen it, but unfortunately, it won't work.
Droves of people, most of which will probably be turned away, and I'll feel bad for someone who paid all the money to fly out to Dubai to audition for this and then get turned away. That'll probably be the worst. That'd be the worst thing ever.
The thing that you sent me, Daniel, in the past was like a charity thing where you donate $10 and you
yeah, but
you
now
have a chance to be an extra.
Yeah, but now they are casting they're casting people in Dubai, which is cool. One second, hold on.
Okay. Wow, that dog sounded like he was suffering.
That's my little brother.
You didn't waterboard your dog, did you? But anyway, yeah, I mean, there was a very similar thing last year. I paid $10 to try to be an extra on episode 7, but I didn't win. I think it's the same company. Omaz.
What's up, Daniel?
Could you try to share screen it? I can't.
Mine's not working either.
Yeah, mine's not working at my end. We'll just move on. Is there any other Star Trek news, Daniel?
No, that's it. They're just holding casting calls for background actors, and people are coming out in droves, and everybody wants to be in the new movie, you know. And
well, I don't, because I think it'll. To be honest, I think it'll suck. That's just my opinion.
And I don't have time for that either. So.
No.
Well,
I don't have $10 to spare, at least not right now.
Since we're on,
go ahead.
Sci-Fi Kick, I got something real quick. I wanted to show you this Steampunk. I don't know if you saw this, but I'm going to show it on the Everything Show as well. But hold on, because I want to introduce you to two very special people we're going to meet this Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, Kylo Ren from The Force Awakens, and
awesome.
Captain Phasma.
Captain Phasma. Okay, that's the character name.
Yeah.
I didn't know the character name for the longest time.
And for those asking, yes, this is Gwendolyn Christie's character. This is who she's playing.
Oh, okay. She looks badass.
It looks awesome, and I really hope that the First Order isn't going to be a one-and-done thing that's going to be done with in The Force Awakens. I don't think they'll do that. I realize
So is Captain Phasma like our generation's Boba Fett?
Hold on, I will actually look up her the character. One moment.
God, Gwendolyn Christie's ugly.
Somebody's on screen share. Oh, that's you. Okay.
Yeah, Captain.
Yeah, I
Phasma.
figure I'd share
Here
his
we go.
information.
Hold on. Captain Phasma. Phasma was a female individual who lived approximately 30 years after the Battle of Endor. Phasma served as a captain in the First Order and wore a reflective suit of armor similar to that of a stormtrooper. That's all we know about her so far. Phasma was
She's the leader of the stormtroopers, or not necessarily?
She does have a special position as in command, because a couple people saw in the leaked Korean version of the Korean TV spot. They saw her along with other members of the First Order during that huge rally. So I assume she's like a commander. I would expect.
She looks like a special ops. She looks like she's commander of like a special ops squadron or squad. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
Phasma
Like
was
this similar role that Boba Fett would take. But go ahead.
Phasma was revealed in the second teaser trailer for The Force Awakens on April 16, 2015. On May 4th, it was confirmed that Phasma would be portrayed by Gwendolyn Christie. Captain Phasma's name is derived from the 1979 horror film Phantasma. Phasma's chrome armor reminded J.J. Abrams of the film's antagonist, a murderous silver sphere. So yeah,
That's really badass.
that is awesome. She looks awesome. But here's the one thing I want to say. I like that the helmet for Kylo Ren, or the mask, is a nice homage to Revan from Knights of the Old Republic. Even if it wasn't intentional, that's what a lot of people are thinking.
Yeah, I've heard that reference before. I have a whole video from Star Wars Celebration of Episode 7 props room. I got a close look at the outfit. They had the original outfit on display. It was pretty impressive. I had also got a close. Yeah, I got a close look at the real that they used in the movie. You'd have to go back to April. You can find it way back in April. I've uploaded a lot of videos since April, but and I did a whole video vlog from, and hardly anybody really bothered to watch it, but it was they had a special room with real props from the movie because J.J. Abrams he was not a fan of the prequels. Oh, there's somebody using Skype. He wasn't a fan of the prequels, so he's trying to be, everything has to be real world, or most things are real world like the original Star Wars, which is cool. And so I actually got to see firsthand the real outfit and the real mask that was used in the movie at Star Wars Celebration. And I put it in a video, and I did a whole video vlog about it, just basically a brief first impression of what I saw. And, you know, they had, like, the Stormtrooper armor, they had BB-8. BB-8's going to be a superstar. He's going to be the next R2-D2. Because the cool thing about BB-8 is he's real. I mean, with the exception he doesn't have a very good AI, but, you know, I mean, the mechanics, I mean, it's real. They had it at Star Wars Celebration. It was a real droid. It actually functioned. And so BB-8's going to be like the next R2-D2. He's going to be the iconic R2-D2. Rey is going to be the iconic. She's going to be the new Princess Leia. And Finn's going to be the new Luke Skywalker.
Here are our new images. There have been 12.
Awesome.
These are 12 images released by Entertainment Weekly. So we got, Finn and Rey?
Yeah.
Running on Jakku from Stormtroopers. We've got, the Kylo Ren image. This guy is a general. I forgot his name, but this guy is a general within the New Order, within the First Order. Though all I can say is,
the uniform looks like something from Titanic, but anyway.
I love the Stormtrooper designs.
I like the new Stormtrooper design. I don't know if I like the New Order officer uniform design. It looks kind of Titanic-like. I don't know. That's just my first impression.
BB-8.
I love BB-8. BB-8's gonna. Most people are not really that familiar with BB-8 unless you went to Star Wars Celebration and got to see BB-8 up close, like I did in the props room. But when he went on, they showed BB-8 on stage, functional, with J.J. Abrams. But I missed that panel. But BB-8, everybody's gonna fall in love with BB-8. BB-8's gonna be this generation's R2-D2, and you know, it's good to have a little bit of the old, but then introduce a new generation of characters, because I don't want to just watch the same movie done differently. That's why I hated Star Trek Into Darkness.
Here we have Finn running by on Jakku by a destroyed TIE fighter.
Very cool.
We've got also J.J. Abrams with, what is this, Rey or is this Finn?
Well, that's Rey. That's Rey, because she's got what looks like the stun baton.
Yep. This looks cool.
That looks sick, yeah.
I can't wait to see what the flame troopers look like, because the rumor is that this scene
if you want to see what the flame trooper looks like, I got it on video, man. I shared it with everybody, but there's if you don't have to just look on my video. You can just Google the flame trooper. There's images that people took at Star Wars Celebration. I saw the armor up close. It looked really badass. But go ahead.
this scene I heard is that they have reports. The First Order basically heard that there was a lightsaber on Jakku. That someone found a lightsaber, and of course, when you hear that, everyone goes into a panic because they think lightsaber equals Jedi, and Kylo Ren basically orders that if they can't find it, they burn it. I guess they burn this village.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that. I heard that basically Finn is actually a real stormtrooper. He's not impersonating one. Kylo Ren's detachment, and Kylo Ren and Finn is force sensitive. He's naturally force sensitive, and he uses his force powers inadvertently because he just on a subconscious level to save somebody's life. And Kylo Ren, who's also force sensitive, detects this, and
Did we freeze? Hello? Hello? Steampunk? Yo, anyone there? Sorry, everyone. We seem to be having technical difficulties.
What happened? I got kicked out.
So did I. But apparently we're still live. Hi, everyone.
Hi, people. All right, so Steampunk Star Raisin is experiencing technical difficulties. So we're going to try to fill in for him until he comes back. What were you talking about, Star Wars?
Yep, I'll continue screen sharing the images.
Okay.
Try to get back on track. So, yeah, we talked about Kylo Ren burning down the Jakku village. Captain Phasma, awesome. You notice how her helmet is kind of like going outwards. It's got like a bigger opening for the head to fit in.
Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, and like the normal stormtrooper helmets seem to wrap firmly around the base of the neck, but this one just seems it's like a samurai helmet where it's all like fanned out at the bottom. If you understand my drift.
Right.
Yeah. So J.J. Abrams wants screenwriters on the First Order base. That's where they are right now. Looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it does. Really good.
What I definitely will say about J.J. Abrams is he's definitely taking a very simplistic approach to it. Like, some of the costumes are very minimalist in the way they're designed.
Sorry about that, guys. I just realized the passcode I got only was good for an hour. That was really annoying.
It's all right. We were just talking about we're just continuing after that. We explained technical difficulties. We were just saying how J.J. Abrams has a very minimalist style going on right now when it comes to this, and it really works for something like Star Wars.
Well, hold on, David. Steampunk, you only have an hour, so do you have to end this podcast now or no?
No.
Okay.
This is actually, I just found out some good news. If I watch a video advertisement, I can actually reconnect for free without buying anything. So that's what I just got through doing. I watched some commercial about insurance, and then it gives me access to the internet.
I'm gonna have to go, guys. I'm gonna have to drop out because I have to make a phone call.
Okay, no, that looks very cool. No, I think Abrams is obviously a fan of Star Wars, the original Star Wars, and you can tell with his approach to the film. I don't sense that he was that big of a fan of Star Trek, and you can tell his approach to those films as well. I think he'll do a good job with this.
But you know, I think the reason why J.J. Abrams wasn't a fan of Star Trek, I think that's what made Star Trek, the new ones, really good. I mean, in my opinion, it was really good because, I mean, look at okay, which director was it that directed Wrath of Khan? Was it Nicholas Meyer?
I don't remember. I'll have to look that up.
Well, okay, whoever directed the Wrath of Khan had like disagreements with Gene Roddenberry because you know how Gene Roddenberry was. He wanted everything to be nice and happy and you know. And
he didn't want everything to be nice and happy. He just wanted control over it. That was what.
And like, you know, okay, so the director of Wrath of Khan wasn't a Star Trek fan, and he made a really good Star Trek movie in the Wrath of Khan, and it was really great. I mean, my brother liked it. Everyone I know liked that movie. It was a great movie. It was dark. It was militaristic. And it was awesome. It was a great movie. You know, you had an awesome guy.
Nicholas Meyer. He's still alive.
Yeah, Nicholas Meyer. See, he wasn't a Star Trek fan. He didn't really agree with that happy-go-lucky attitude that Roddenberry wanted for his future. So, you know, and that's why The Wrath of Khan was a great movie. You know, and you know, and like whenever you hire non-Star Trek fans, they really spice things up. They really spice it up. And
let me just say that Gene Roddenberry did dark stuff, but they just, for whatever reason, the studios thought his script, Gene Roddenberry's original script for Star Trek 2, they thought it was too controversial. They thought it was too controversial because it involved assassination of John F. Kennedy. And I would have liked to have seen, I would still like to see that script reduced into a movie. I think it might actually make an interesting movie because it showed how sometimes altering a timeline, even for good reasons, can change the history in a bad way. So basically, in Gene Roddenberry's original version of Star Trek II, somebody traveled back to the time of John F. Kennedy, prevented his assassination, and it altered history. And like the Federation never existed, and it had adverse consequences, even though it was altering a negative thing. And so what was controversial about the script, what I understand, it was an ending scene where he had Spock on the grassy knoll. This is written by Gene Roddenberry. Spock on the grassy knoll as one of the shooters of John F. Kennedy. But Spock didn't want to kill Kennedy, but he was just having to restore history, restore the balance of history, so that history would resume the way it was. Gene Roddenberry would have explored an interesting idea. I'm not saying that Wrath Khan was bad, but I think Gene Roddenberry's idea for a new Star Trek film would have been good too. But because his script was considered too controversial, they pretty much blacklisted him from any more Star Trek films. He was demoted from being executive producer to just being like a creative consultant. Kind of like George Lucas with the new Star Wars films, but because he wanted to retire from Star Wars. But George Lucas has been demoted from the executive producer director to just being listed as a creative consultant and co-writer.
Well, yeah. Well, George Lucas, like, look what he did with the prequels. Everybody hated the prequels. Me, I remember at first when I was back in the '90s, late '90s, I didn't like the idea of the prequels. I'm like, I wanted sequels so badly, and
well, we were gonna have to go back to them anyway. I mean, you do realize we started out on episode 4, right?
Yeah.
You know how silly it would be if we just went 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, 8, and 9, and we didn't even know how the dang thing began?
I agree, and I'm not one of those fans. I actually like the prequels. Yeah, there were some flaws in the prequels. They looked a little bit too much like video games. But I like the prequels. I really liked Revenge of the Sith. I didn't think it was a bad film. I think they'll age well, and I think that people will realize, wow, the prequels were really not that bad.
Well, here's the thing. There's only one thing I got really ticked off about Revenge of the Sith. I watched the Clone Wars micro-series cartoons.
Okay.
This was really hype. Beginning of Season 2, or the end of Season 1, they said, watch the end of Season 1 of Clone Wars. You will see our brand new villain for Revenge of the Sith, General Grievous. And I'm like, okay, what's this going to be? It's just going to be some other random mercenary or general who just happens to be good at fighting. Holy crap, did you see that? He took on 5 Jedi on his own with 2 lightsabers in probably one of the best fights I have ever seen. And only, 3 of them, Shakti, Ayla Secura, and Kiadi Mundi, survived.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know you're talking about they were like 3-minute episodes. I haven't seen all the episodes. I haven't even seen most of them. I missed most of them.
They're only like 5 minutes long usually, the micro-series cartoons. But here's the thing. If you want to see General Grievous do everything imaginable, everything that you think he could ever be able to do, it's in the micro-series. He is awesome, which is why I was very disappointed with how can this guy take on 5 Jedi, including 3 Jedi Masters, members of the Jedi Council, mind you.
Yeah.
And he can't handle Obi-Wan. I know, Obi-Wan has plot armor. I get it. But come on.
I like that. Obi-Wan has plot armor.
Obi-Wan is like
Obi-Wan, I can rationalize it like this. Obi-Wan is more powerful than most Jedi. That's
Not really. In Mace Windu, Yoda, they were much more powerful than Obi-Wan.
Well, I still like the fight between. Yeah, I guess I can see your point. There seems to be plot inconsistency.
Well, and I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just really disappointed because then when you see the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, I'm like, okay, can we have something like this, shorter, but with Grievous and Obi-Wan?
Well, and I thought that Count Dooku got killed off a little bit too quickly, but they had to finish him off. They had to finish him off for the Clone Wars. He was supposed to die in Clone Wars anyway.
Well, well, let's move on with these images because my computer's dying and I might need to put it downstairs real quick. So, this right here is Oscar Isaacs as Poe. He is basically kind of being our Han Solo, our new Han Solo. That if I'm correct in what's behind him, I think that's the new Stealth X. Anyone who's read the expanded universe knows what I'm talking about, and those are awesome. Brand new prototype X-wings with modified stealth capabilities, which is amazing. These things are awesome.
Yeah, it looks badass. Thank you for showing me that. Wow, that's impressive. This looks like it's going to be a really good film.
Yeah, and then there are two
I have
more.
confidence in Lawrence Kasdan, but anyway, the writer.
Yeah, this one is probably the one you're going to want to see. These two, I know you'll like. Steampunk. That. And C-3PO with his new arm.
Oh, cool.
Now, I hope they explain why he has a new arm.
I hope so too. I hope they don't just throw that in there. Oh my God, he's a new arm.
Now, and the one thing they need to explain why it isn't gold. They need to because I mean seriously, you have no excuse when you have a princess, and you could have pretty much afforded any way to get him gold plates for that arm.
I could explain. I think I know why. Rey is described as a professional scavenger. She scavenged technology, pieces of technology. Jakku is described as a desert planet with, until after the end of the First War, where there was a Star Destroyer that crashed on Jakku, from what I understand, which you see in the teaser trailer. And that Star Destroyer is one of the few resources of technology, and there's people stranded on the planet. The planet was previously unpopulated. So there's no civilization, no culture, there's just, it's like a people shipwrecked on an island. And so they're scavenging technology from that Star Destroyer, whatever spaceships wrecked there from the First War. And there hasn't been a war on that planet in 30 years, so from what I understand, most of the characters from the original trilogy were held in custody or either crash-landed on that planet. So it's possible that C-3PO crash-landed on Jakku, and there wasn't a shiny new arm to find, so they had to get one from another droid. That's what if I had to guess.
And finally, our last one, which I know everyone's going to be happy about.
Yeah, that's what everybody had. People had at Star Wars Celebration, people had tears in their eyes. Even the second time they watched the trailer, I
had tears in my eyes when I saw it, because the thing is, after Revenge of the Sith, I kind of fell out of Star Wars. That's when I started looking at stuff like Halo and all that to find my sci-fi fix, because I don't think anything could have replaced what Star Wars was for me. And when I was watching the teaser trailer, it pushed all the right buttons and got me very, very emotional, and that moment just hit it, where we were like, oh my God, Star Wars is back.
No, I agree. And the guy who wrote the best of Star Wars, Lawrence Kasdan, is back. He had been alienated by George Lucas and not allowed to have any participation in the prequels, which that was the one fault of George Lucas, was he liked to micromanage everything during the prequels. He was writing everything, he was producing everything, he was even editing the films. And so I think that bringing back some of the original creative force that made the original trilogy, like Lawrence Kasdan, gives me big confidence that it's going to be a really good film.
Yeah, I totally agree. The film looks fantastic. I like that it's being shot on actual film, not being done digitally, and we've got as many practical effects as possible, which is fantastic.
I mean, I was impressed with the life-size Millennium Falcon. You built a life-size Millennium Falcon. I wonder where that ship is today. I mean, it's not functional, of course, but it looked badass. Life-size. I mean, I don't even think they built a life-size Millennium Falcon in the original trilogy. I
believe what you saw was a model. It was just, to quote Monty Python, it's only a model.
Oh, so that was a prank video. Okay, I guess I was fooled into thinking they had a real life-size Millennium Falcon. I know that there was a lot of. I know there like during when Harrison Ford broke his leg, and he's been getting beat up a lot lately. Poor Harrison Ford, but when he broke his leg during production, it was because from what I had read, he was in a life-size set of the Millennium Falcon, and there was a door on the Millennium Falcon that closed, and he didn't time it right, and he broke his leg on the door.
You want to know something else about that?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, tell me. I only know vague about a little bit of the vague story.
J.J. Abrams ran to help Harrison Ford with that to get the door off his leg.
Mm-hmm.
He cracked one of his vertebrae.
Oh, damn.
He literally broke his back to make this movie. So if you guys don't like it, shame on you.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, that's some dedication.
Yeah, he joked about that in an interview. He's like, I literally broke my back to make this for you people.
Yeah, and I'm glad Harrison Ford's okay. He crashed. Less than a year later, he crashed in that World War II trainer plane.
Well, you know what was funny is I like how Harrison Ford's kind of taking that crash in stride. Basically, to the point where yes, he knows all the Millennium Falcon jokes being made about it, and he's like, oh well.
Yeah, I remember somebody photoshopped. They took the crash site, which had been on the news, and they photoshopped over the plane. They put a wrecked Millennium Falcon. That was hilarious.
No, you know what picture I saw so much after that? It was 2 screenshots from Last Crusade. I didn't know you could fly a plane. Fly, yes. Land, no.
That's hilarious. Hilarious.
And I know about it because that was my favorite Indiana Jones movie, Last Crusade. Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. Oh my God, the chemistry between those two guys. You could tell those two were father and son.
Yeah, it definitely felt that way. It was really good acting. Yeah, my top 5 favorite movies of all time. We'll move on to that. These are just my opinion. I would name my favorite movie of all time is Vanilla Sky. My second favorite movie of all time is Donnie Darko. My third favorite movie of all time is Southland Tales, and my fourth favorite movie of all time is Star Wars, the first one. And my fifth favorite movie of all time is Iron Man. And I just thought I'd put that out there in my first episode. So I wanted to, and that'll tie into the next topic, if nobody has any comments on that.
Nope.
You know what's weird? Good movies like Into Darkness only made like 400 million worldwide or something.
Well, I thought Into Darkness made 475 million worldwide.
Yeah, but movies like The Avengers, which, you know, to tell you the truth, if it were up to me, The Avengers would only make like maybe 500 million worldwide because that's what it's worth. That's what it's worth.
Really. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there because I'm gonna tell you what the Avengers did better than Star Trek, and this is okay. Gloves are off here. I am not. You know, it's fine if you want to say movies like that don't do well. Yeah, that's fine. But when you're talking about a successful franchise like the Avengers has done what no other movie has ever done before. We're talking characters that have soloed their own films, that these screenwriters have to come together. Joss Whedon had to be like, okay, I've got these big players right here. How do I balance them out in a movie and not make it look like I'm favoring one over the other? I need everyone to have their moment in the sun, everyone to have an opportunity to shine, and all the fans to be happy about it. And what did we get? We had undoubtedly one of the best superhero films of all time. And what did we get with Star Trek Into Darkness? We had a hugely controversial movie that seemed to be ripping off Wrath of Khan in every way possible. I mean, seriously, swapping roles with Spock and Kirk. I'm not even a big fan of Star Trek, and I thought that was cheesy. And having Spock do the Khan!
I agree. That was horrible.
That was
like, oh my God, this is like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Daniel, that is not good. You want to know what's good? You want to know what's good? Hulk smashing around Loki and going, puny God. That's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. That is fun. But
yeah, I mean, it's
I'm just saying.
He's a genius when it came to the Avengers. I mean, the Avengers was the first Hulk film where they did Hulk right, in my opinion. Because the last two Hulk movies, there was something missing about the element of the character of Hulk that I just didn't feel like they.
I think Hulk works better in an ensemble than he does solo. But if I had to judge both Hulk films, solo Hulk films, I actually think that the one from 2008 was a lot better because Edward Norton definitely portrayed the character right. I just think when I first saw Avengers, I thought Mark Ruffalo was not a good choice because he looked too buff. He wasn't buff, but he looked too built up to be this skinny side.
Yeah.
That's why Edward Norton looked awesome, because he was the complete opposite of the Hulk. He was skinny, he was unimposing. You didn't expect this guy to be able to punch you across North America.
That's true. I agree that the 2008 Hulk was better, and it does. The 2008 Hulk is canon because that's the one that takes place in the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a post-credit scene with General Ross and Tony Stark, from what I remember, and they're supposed to be bringing back General Ross, which I'm surprised.
Oh, I know what they're doing with him.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead, do tell.
Red Hulk. We're gonna get Red Hulk.
Red Hulk. Oh, that could be badass.
Yeah.
And also, the rumor is that Marvel will use Red Hulk probably for a Thunderbolts spinoff.
Oh my God.
But I don't. Here's the thing about what I'd say. Look, I understand, Daniel. Don't take this to mean I'm insulting you. I'm not. My point is that I can appreciate a good movie. I can, no matter what it is. If it's Star Trek, so be it. I will admit it's a good movie. If it's Star Wars, Avengers, DC, like if Batman v Superman does well, I will fully go on my YouTube channel and say I was wrong. It was a great movie. But
oh, did you want to plug your YouTube channel? I mean, I know I don't get a.
All right, I'm good. I don't need to plug my YouTube channel right now. I just want to get this thought off my.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
It's all right. It's fine. But I will say, without a doubt, in my opinion, The Avengers is above and beyond anything that any of the Star Trek films, minus Wrath of Khan, have been able to do. Because we finally got a superhero movie that had excellent characterization, excellent action, great use of humor, great drama, and it was fantastic. And note that when The Avengers came out, I wasn't even that big of a Marvel fan. I was a big Batman fan. So to have me say that about a film, I mean, I love Marvel now, but back when the movie came out, I'm like, okay, I'll give The Avengers a chance, even though pretty much I only read the Justice League. But fantastic. That is all I got. I have nothing but praise for The Avengers.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the first Avengers movie, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It was an awesome film.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree with that. I would give Into Darkness a 6, though. That's what I would give it.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I was personally offended by Star Trek Into Darkness. I've already done a movie review about it because it came out 2 years ago, but I would give it like a 2. That's just me, because I just felt personally offended.
But my point is that I think the Avengers made a little bit too much money. They were overhyping it, and it is overhyped. I mean, to me, it's only worth like maybe like 800 million at best. It's not worth 1.5 billion.
I disagree. I think it was that good of a film.
Yeah. Well,
I'm with David on that one.
Also, movies like Titanic or Avatar are not worth $1 billion, and they are $1 billion, which makes no sense, to me.
No, Avatar, I will agree with you. I don't know how that film was visually stunning, but the story is something we've seen time and time again. It was Pocahontas. It was Dances with Wolves.
It was Pocahontas in space. I agree, but I still liked it.
It's a good movie, and the visuals sucked us in. That's why we loved it. But then you have films like, are you going to say that? Okay, here's a question, Daniel. Do you think The Dark Knight was overhyped?
I think The Dark Knight was a great movie.
No, that's not the question. Do you think The Dark Knight was overhyped? Because you said The Avengers was overhyped. You think Titanic was overhyped. You think that Avatar was overhyped. What about one of the game changers for superhero movies? The one movie that literally changed how the public views superhero movies. Do you think that was overhyped?
I don't know. I never really thought about The Dark Knight, really. I never really thought about that. So, I mean, I think it was a good movie. I liked it. I never really thought about if it was overhyped or not.
Well, no. Here's what I think it is, and please don't take offense. I think the problem is not that it's overhyped. I think that, and it's all right to admit this, that you might be a little bit angry that the fact that films like these are getting a wider appeal than a Star Trek movie that you feel is genuinely good.
Yeah.
And would that be incorrect?
Okay.
Would that be incorrect? And I totally agree with you because, like, look, I think I actually like Batman Begins a little bit more because I think that was a very solid origin story for Batman.
Batman Begins, I agree. I think that was a great film.
Yeah, and Liam Neeson, seriously, Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, oh my god. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
The only thing I would say about that movie is they could have done Scarecrow a bit better.
Yeah.
Scarecrow was a little bit weak sauce. I always thought of Scarecrow being a badass.
Oh, yeah, seriously, if you ever get the chance to watch the campaign of Batman Arkham Knight,
Yeah.
Scarecrow, that is the Scarecrow we deserve. I love Scarecrow in Arkham Knight. He is fantastic, the way he is played, the way he's portrayed, the way his design. Oh my god, it's awesome. Actually, you two keep talking. I'm going to just grab something real quick to show you guys.
Yeah.
You're coming back, right? Because I wanted you on board for this last topic.
I'm still
top
saving up my
10
money.
real grossing films of all time, adjusted for inflation.
What? Oh yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm still.
well, I mean, the problem is that people always they talk about the top 10 grossing films of all time, and it gives you a false dichotomy that people just prefer superhero films over everything else. But that's just. But if you adjust for inflation, and you base it on actual ticket sales, you get a different picture of what people like. And I just think it's fascinating. And they actually Box Office Mojo has like the top 200. They have the top 200 grossing films of all time, adjusted for inflation. But I'm only going to do the top of this cast. But I'm going to try to wait until David comes back. Oh, cool. What's that?
That's Scarecrow.
Oh, that looks badass. He looks so evil.
I'm still
He looks
saving up
like
my
Death
money for
almost.
This is the Scarecrow we need in a movie.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. That would be badass.
I love these syringes on his hand that basically that administers the fear toxin. He's wrapped in fear toxin essentially.
Yeah.
That's badass.
So yeah,
Grim Reaper Scarecrow.
his face is freaky, but that's what happens. Literally, that face is what happens when you get mauled by Killer Croc.
Okay.
You remember?
What is your
David?
What is your Madman with a? What's the bottom word? Oh, Madman with a box. I get it, Doctor Who.
So yeah, let's move on to what you were saying about the highest grossing.
Yeah, the top. Okay, I'm going with the Box Office Mojo for this, but because I think that a lot of times, like when you look at the top 10 grossing films domestically of all time, you give the false dichotomy that people prefer superhero films over everything else. But if you actually adjust for inflation with today's dollars, and you adjust for inflation based on the actual numbers of tickets that sold, you get a different view of what the top 10 grossing films of all time. And this is domestic gross, top 10 grossing of all time adjusted for inflation in today's dollars. The number one film of all time would be Gone with the Wind. In today's dollars, it would have grossed $1.6 billion. Number 2 would be Star Wars, or $1.4 billion. Number 3 would be The Sound of Music. I remember hearing about that one, but I never saw that. And with $1.1 billion. And number 4 would be E.T. with $1.1 billion, a little bit less, slightly less than Sound of Music. Number 5 would be Titanic with $1.1 billion. Number 6 would be The Ten Commandments, another film that I've heard of, but I have never seen.
Oh, it's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Okay, and number 7 being Jaws. With all these films are really close together, like roughly $1 billion in today's dollars. Number 8 sounds interesting. I saw the trailer to it recently. Dr. Zhivago. Dr. Zhivago, number 8, and The Exorcist being number 9, and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs number 10. So what's your thoughts about that, David? about that.
Well, glad that Snow White is still there because, you know, we talk about films and animated films often get the short end of the stick that, oh, they're just for kids. But, I mean, look at the films that, like, I have a lot of films that like to treat the audience as adults. You know, How to Train Your Dragon franchise, I love. Rise of the Guardians, I love, which I want a sequel to that so bad. Definitely, like films like Tangled, Frozen, none of those would exist if Walt Disney hadn't had the balls to say, okay, let's go and do a full-length animated feature. And he was ridiculed for it. Everyone mocked him. No one thought it could be done. And look where it is now, and I am so happy. It is a classic by every right, and it deserves that spot on the list.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I saw it when I was a little kid. I remember enjoying it as a little kid, but I haven't seen it since I was like 5 years old, and I don't remember too much. I remember Snow White singing, and I just remember it was a good classic kids movie. I saw it, I couldn't. I mean, I know the basic plot and all that, but
yeah, but
Skype, sir.
No, that's okay. That was just Brian.
But yeah,
What are you gonna say, David?
I think, yeah, a lot of those movies are classics, which it's no surprise that they're on the list. I mean, yeah, in an age where superhero movies are it's nice to see that a couple of classics actually all of those are classics.
No, I agree. They're all classic films. Dr. Zhivago is not on Netflix, unfortunately. I would like to see that one. That's about the revolution, the Russian Revolution of 1917. It's like an epic war drama. It takes place in World War I. From the trailer, it actually looked really interesting, and it apparently did very well in the early 1960s. And that's one I haven't seen. And I haven't seen the Ten Commandments, and I haven't seen The Sound of Music. So just out of respect for history, because if adjusted for inflation and actual ticket sales, I need to see these films just because they're a part of history and they're an important part of history, and I like cinema anyway. But I'll have to do that sometime if they ever come on Netflix.
Yeah.
So, David, are you in high school or are you in college?
I'm actually in college, yes. I look and sound a lot younger than I actually am. I'm actually 21.
Okay, just making sure. It's an awkward question of the day, slightly adult-oriented. I just wanted to be careful. It's kind of my dry, deadpan sense of humor. I may not do an awkward question of the day for every episode. I'll probably do another episode in 2 weeks. Because right now I don't really have an audience. I have a slight audience on my YouTube channel, but until I build up my audience, then maybe I'll do episodes more often. This is kind of an experiment. But awkward question of the day, my attempt at humor to see how people react to an uncomfortable question. And I've only got 2 guests on here. I was hoping to have like Mike D and a few other people.
Yeah. So like.
But it would be more funny if you had more funny. It would be more fun if you had more people to ask the awkward question of the day to. But I'll shoot with just you 2 guys. If the technology had arisen and at the push of a button, you could clone yourself, but a female version of yourself, would you have sex with that female version of yourself?
No, definitely not.
I don't know, because I don't think that would ever happen between me and Michael. We'd probably be geeking out over the same stuff for hours on end, so I don't think that point would ever be reached.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, we'd be
an answer of sorts.
Yeah. So, hey, David, I just want to ask you,
because you know me, I have a fascination with clones. I love Clone Wars, animated cartoon. I'm fascinated with clones. I wouldn't mind cloning myself, but that's a topic for another episode.
All right, wait.
Wow.
David. First of all, I want to ask you. Okay, like you used to be in Legend of Zelda, right? You used to like that series, right?
Not really. I never, ever, ever, ever beat a game.
Oh. I thought you were into it before.
No, I have a
Because
friend who's into it.
oh, okay. And second, who do you think would win? Okay, I want you to say on this cast, who do you think would win in a fight between Star Wars and Star Trek? Let's say the Federation fought the Empire. Who would win,
Oh,
in your
the
opinion?
Empire, hands down. They would steamroll the Federation.
I had this debate with Daniel the other day. Actually, this will be the last topic, and then I'll wrap up. I actually disagree. I think the Federation would beat the Empire. You want to know my reasons why?
I think the Empire has more resources than the Federation. They have more manpower than the Federation. Let's not even forget the Army, the Imperial Army. Now,
well, I think that like one Federation starship is equivalent to 10 Star Destroyers because
yeah, but you do know that the Empire has the numbers to back that up, right?
I know they have a large army or large military force, and even if one Federation starship could take on 10 Star Destroyers, they might have 20. But I would argue the Federation would get the Romulans and the Klingons.
Well, no, if we're talking in Daniel's terms, the Federation versus the Empire,
okay,
the Empire definitely takes it. And also, let's not even forget about ground war. Ground war, forget about it. The Empire has it.
Okay, fair enough. I respect
I think,
that.
you know, even if we're going to give the Federation the Navy, the naval combat, if we're going to give them that, the whole thing that I would say is that no one, you would need to, like, you would have to have a sizable army. You know, if you had the Klingons thrown in, maybe you might be able to match the Empire on a ground assault, but from everything I've seen of the Empire's tactics, their weapons, their vehicles, they essentially rely on vehicular power to destroy.
Well, it was just me and Daniel talking the other day, and here was my logic was just based on observation from the Star Wars movies. Like there was one time when the Millennium Falcon, they don't seem to have very good sensors. The Millennium Falcon landed on the surface of the Star Destroyer and was undetected. So they don't seem to have very good sensors.
Well,
well, go ahead.
Han tricked them by shutting down. He literally landed and shut off all power to the Falcon.
But you would think that a ship the size of Millennium Falcon, they would be able to pick it up. I mean, I understand there might be some confusion with the sensors. I just get a sense that at close range they have a weakness with their sensors. And there was, I think it was in Return of the Jedi, there was a ship that collided it. They have that little, looks like a radar dome. Looks like a radar emitter.
That was their
the shield generator. The shield generators seem to be very weak and easily taken out. Like
well,
go ahead.
In defense, that was the biggest issue strategically with the Battle of Endor, because the Empire never ever bargained on the fact that the rebels were going to fly and basically go 17th century broadside for broadside. That is a tactic that the Empire wasn't really prepared for the rebels to do because they thought it was suicidal. So,
well, the battle. Here's the question: is according to information that's leaked online, it's a lot of it's gossip. I don't know if it's true. That the rebels may not have really have won the Battle of Endor. They won the opening battle, but then the closing battle, the remnant of the Empire pulled their forces together and crushed the rebellion. But then because of all the controversy after the war ended, they reformed themselves as the First Order, and they said, "Well, we're not the Empire, we're reformed, but they're still the Empire." They're like neo-Nazis saying, "Well, we're reformed Nazis, still Nazis." That's the gist of what I'm saying. The way the plot line works. So maybe they did win after all. Maybe you were right.
Yeah, and also like the Empire is like it's okay. First of all, the Star Wars galaxy is like it's said to be 5 times bigger than our galaxy. I don't know about that, but anyway, the thing is, the Empire is spread all over the galaxy. It's all over, so it's as big as an entire galaxy. Whereas the Federation is only in the Alpha Quadrant, maybe a little bit in the Delta, the Beta and Gamma and Delta Quadrant, but it's only in like a few quadrants. It's not all over an entire galaxy. So So the Federation is much, much smaller.
And with Darth Vader dead, they would have the Imperial fleet, I would argue, might even have a slight edge. Because there was in Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader was foolishly wasting resources searching for the Millennium Falcon. He had Star Destroyers going into the asteroid belt, and they were and the Admiral was trying to politely explain to Darth Vader, "Hey, we're taking heavy losses. You know, we'll double our efforts because we got to find the Millennium Falcon." So he was losing ships and Star Destroyers left and right, just one ship.
The thing is with Vader that may look foolish, but the thing is, he knew that ships can be replaced. Ships, recruits, that is easy. That is of no consequence to him. He didn't care at that point. All he cared about was finding the Falcon so he could get to Luke. That was the only end game in his mind, was to find his son.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest, it made sense, especially in a man in his authority. Like, look how when they were like talking about the power the Death Star had, Vader wasn't that impressed.
Yeah, because he said it was nothing compared to the power of the dark side of the Force.
Yeah, it was. Vader is a man who likes to look at the grand plan rather than the single ship. He doesn't care about the ship; he cares about the fleet.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
So yeah, in closing, Empire trumps the Federation on its own.
Okay.
I would say, look, if we were going to talk about one faction that could actually, if not beat the Empire, then fight them to a standstill, it would be the Borg.
Well, yeah, the Borg.
Wait a second.
That could be a topic for another show, because you could talk about the Borg for like a whole episode, because they were very complex.
Didn't you say that if they even if they teamed up with the Klingons, the Romulans, the Cardassians, the Borg, and on, they would lose?
Wait, the Kardashian? Kim Kardashian was not part of Star Trek?
No, the Cardassian. The white guys with the necklace.
I'm like, oh god, she's infecting Star Trek. Dear God, Daniel, you almost gave me a heart attack, please.
You don't like the Kardashians?
Why are they relevant?
Yeah.
All right, we'll end on that note. We can still talk off. Anyway,
yeah, hold on.
Oh.
No, we need to end it, Daniel.
It's going on very long. We can talk off air. I just need to end it so it'll upload to my YouTube. This is Steampunk Star Raisin out. This has been the first episode of the Steampunk Star Raisin live show. You have a nice day, and I will see you 25 billion years. I will.
Me too.
Yeah.